In the wake of Clippers owner Donald Sterling's racist remarks, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has banned Clippers owner Donald Sterling for life from the team and is looking to bring in new ownership. Now, the Clippers, they're owned jointly by Donald Sterling and his wife Shelly through the Sterling Family Trust. Shelly Sterling has recently stated that she does not intend to sell and wants to continue to own the team. Now, we are joined by Pierce O'Donnell. Mr. O'Donnell, thanks for joining us. If the NBA is looking for new ownership for the Clippers, aren't they looking to get rid of Donald and Shelly altogether?
Don't know. Shelly owns 50% of the team through the family trust. She's owned it for 33 years. She's 79 years old, and she's a great fan, and she wants to retain her 50% interest for the rest of her life. She wants to be a passive owner. She wants a new dynamic management team to come in, investors, and enjoy the fruits of her labor. But she doesn't want to own all the team and never wants to manage it.
Now, you say Shelly Sterling owns it through the family trust. She owns 50%, but how can she own a part of it, but they have to sell Donald's part?
Donald's on his own. She's repudiated his racist comments. She's distanced herself from him. He has nothing to do with the team anymore. He can't go to the games. Nothing. And what happens to Donald happens to Donald. But she wants to retain her interest.
So the Donald Sterling family, or the Sterling Family Trust, I should say, that doesn't link them, so it's not all for one with that?
No, if there were a divorce or an agreement, they'd each get a 50% separate interest. Right now it's a joint interest, but I'm hoping in my discussions with the NBA that we can work out a solution to that problem. It's a $400 million tax liability if the team sells for $1 billion, if it's forced sale. I'm in constant good dialogue with the Commissioner Silver and his lawyers. We're talking more next week. We talked this morning before the new interim CEO. So I'm trying to resolve this. If I can't, we're going to be in the courts. And
speaking of the divorce, if Donald and Shelly got a divorce, how would that affect their current ownership of the team?
Well, they'd be divided 50-50, and they'd have separate 50% ownerships. Assuming Donald stays in, the NBA may have other designs on Donald.
Now, since Shelly says she wants to retain ownership of the Clippers, how long are you willing to fight this battle in court?
To the death.
The death.
Probably my death, as it'll turn out. No, I mean, court cases can be protracted. We saw what McCourt did with the Dodgers. We don't want to reprise the McCourt spectacle. This is a great franchise. Shelly's been a co-owner in the darkest days, and now go Clippers. And hopefully we can bring an NBA championship to this city maybe this year. But if she has to fight, she will fight. We respect property rights in America. We have due process. And she will fight to retain her interest.
Now, Pierce, speaking of the team, when asked about Shelly retaining ownership of the Clippers, head coach Doc Rivers recently said, quote, "I think it'd be a very hard situation. I think it'd be very difficult." Now, how will Shelly's ownership of the Clippers be affected by the team and the players wanting her to sell?
I don't think the players or even Doc really understand the full picture. I don't think they understood until maybe today that she doesn't want to run the team or own 100% of the team. She wants to fill out her years with the interest that she's acquired over the years. And I have to tell you, all this mass hysteria about players with multi-million-dollar contracts and sponsors who make billions are going to boycott because a 79-year-old woman is sitting with popcorn in the owner's suite. I just think it's preposterous. I think Americans think it's preposterous. And she's not going to be run out of town on a rail. They're not going to let, this is not vigilante justice. She owns the team. She owns half the team. She's worked hard for that team. And I would think anybody in America, if they have a house, for example, and somebody says, well, we want your house because your spouse is a bad guy and he's off at prison, it doesn't work that way. And my job as her lawyer is to protect her rights. By the same token, I have an olive branch in my hand, and if we can resolve this with the NBA amicably, we'd like to do it.
Now, the players, though, they were able to push Donald out. You don't think they'd be able to also push Shelly out if they wanted to?
Donald made racist comments that are anathema. They're just what we don't do in America. Shelly was found by Commissioner Silver to be blameless. This is about Donald. Push Donald out, but don't throw his innocent wife over the cliff.
Any chance Shelly would ever sell her stake in the team?
Her position right now is I want to own my 50% for the rest of my life.
That's Shelly Sterling's attorney, Pierce O'Donnell, with the latest on Shelly Sterling wanting to keep her ownership stake of the Clippers. Keep it right here on ESPN.com for much more on this situation. I'm Dario Melendez.